Eric, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, Skylar and Mallory, things are just starting to get going out across portions of Carroll and Frederick County. This line of showers and thunderstorms developed across portions of the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. Right now, if you're south of Westminster, down towards portions of the Woodville area, back into portions of Ballinger Creek, I want you to get into that safe spot. Want all the walls around you and something to cover your head. Since we do have this tornado warning, that will continue until about 6:45. The storm right now just south of the I-70 placard here coming out of Ballinger Creek, so out towards Flying Dog Brewing Company. You'll be seeing this out towards Mount Zion Road, and this will be pushing up across portions of the 70 stretch. Let's zoom on in here a little bit tighter, and we can kind of show you what's going on. This is the storm that is in question just south of New Market right now around Urbana. You can actually see the tightening here of where that wind is coming into the storm system as it advances north. In this brighter shade of green that you see, that's most likely where the radar is actually picking up in the rotation aloft. And when the reds and the greens meet up together, that's when we have some signature there of a little bit of rotation in the area. This storm system is actually moving fairly quickly, like all of the storms today. They're moving generally out of the northeast upwards of 45 to as much as 60 miles per hour. So if you are in Westminster, once again, I want you to get into that safe spot, even though you're not included in the polygon here for the tornado warning. So let's put a little bit of a track on this for you, and you'll be able to see as we look off to the north and east here, some of the places that are going to be impacted here. IJAM's out there at 6:41, and then around the Wakefield, New Windsor area about 6:53 and 6:55 p.m. So once again, let me pull the radar out of here, and we'll show you. We have that tornado warning that is in place across portions, yes, until about 3 a.m. across portions of Frederick and Carroll counties. And looking at the latest discussion here from the National Weather Service on the chat, that tornado warning is located right around the Lignor-Bartonsville area or near Harry Grove Stadium, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So we'll pull you back into the radar here, and you can see once again, we'll go into the wider view. Baltimore Metro, Annapolis out through the eastern shore, not impacted just yet. We'll zoom on in over towards where that tornado warning is. Severe thunderstorm warnings line it down 15, back up 15 into portions of the Thurmont area. Northern portions of Carroll County along 140 going back up towards Taneytown. I would not take this storm for granted here. You can see we'll overlay that warning for you one more time, and you'll be able to see until 6:45 there. We'll see around the Buckystown area, back up through Ballinger Creek, even over towards the Westminster Woodville area. You can actually see the tightening here of that storm right around Buckystown, just south of Frederick. And this is going to be moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. This is radar indicated here with the tornado warning that we're seeing at this time. Severe thunderstorm warning also back up across northern portions of Carroll County, right around the Westminster area. So right now, if you're in Ballinger Creek, right along the 70 stretch between Frederick and Mount area, going up towards portions of Westminster, I want you to get into that tornado safe space. All of the walls around you, whether it's the innermost closet, the basement, or even a bathroom, all of the walls around you away from the windows. Once again, this is a radar indicated tornado here. You can see that tornado warning once again around the Buckystown, Woodville area. We're seeing that coming your way. There's a little notch there in the radar. There's a little notch there in the radar right towards the Frederick area. We'll zoom in once again. You can see some tightening here. And we'll pull this in a little bit tighter here. Bear with me. And you can see the brighter shades of green just north of Urbana now, coming into New Market. If you're around McKeag, over towards Woodville, up through the Dennings and New Windsor area, you're included in this tornado warning. So when you see the greens and the reds on radar, that's an indication of the rotation. And even if we're not seeing a tornado out there, we're most likely seeing some very gusty winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. You can actually see how that wind and the rotation has broadened out a little bit, and the expansion of that wind off to the north and east and north and west of the storm. So right around Fountain Mills over towards New Market, busting up towards Woodville, right along portions of 70. You're going to want to look out for this. That tornado warning once again until 6:45. This is radar indicated. There is no observation of that tornado on the ground, but either way, there's a warning in place. So we want you to go to that safe spot, all of the walls around you, and something to cover your head since this warning is in place for those strong gusty winds. So around Urbana, Buckystown, you're in the clear. Ballinger Creek, you are in the clear. Frederick, you are in the clear. But if you're up towards New Market, out through the Dennings area, we'll put this back over into radar, and we'll loop this over for you over the last 15 minutes. and you'll be able to see how quickly this is moving off to the north and east of Urbana up towards Woodville, even out through the Johnsville area. Ijamsville will put a track. Once again, we'll get some latest updated times here on some of the cities. So going up towards Westminster, this should be on your doorstep right after about 7 o'clock tonight. Up through Warfieldsburg, 657, Oak Orchard, 647. It's on top of you right now in New Market. If you're not in your safe spot, please get there. All of the walls around you, whether it be the innermost closet in your home or even a bathroom or a basement. So that tornado warning once again for Carroll and Frederick County until 6:45. At 6:29, this storm was located right around Lignor Winery over towards the Bartonsville area or near Harry Grove Stadium, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning also in place for portions of Carroll County with a tornado possible text and wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour and 3/4 inch diameter hail. So we'll pull this out to a wider view and let our audience in Baltimore know this is not in your neighborhood. This is not in Baltimore. This is not in Owings Mills, out through Perry Hall, or even portions of Cecil and northern Hartford County. But if you're in Carroll County right now, especially up towards the Westminster area, we want you to look out for this tornado warning right on your doorstep. And we'll walk you through here around the Frederick area, over towards portions of Woodville, out through Johnsville, over towards Ijamsville, and up towards Westminster. That tornado warning will continue until about 6:45, until 6:45 this evening. Once again, this is radar indicated. You can see the brighter shades of green here. The brighter shades of green here showing some of that rotation meeting up with the red. And we'll zoom in a little tighter here. This is right around the New Market area. Right around New Market, we're seeing this. And then coming up towards McKeag, that's where the rotation is showing up, just south of McKeag and northwest of New Market. Northwest of New Market. So if you were in this area going north, up Maryland 75 towards Lignor Winery, out through the Franklinville area, over towards Dennings, I want you to be in that safe spot. All of the walls around you, even up towards Bartonsville. Even up towards Bartonsville and out through the Oldfield area, we're starting to see some of that rotation. And we'll look at a detailed view. Not seeing too much flying around here. This is once again radar indicated. Not seeing any signatures here on debris tracker of that. But we are noticing some hail out of this storm system. And those hail tracks not showing up here just yet. But we do have the tornado warning for Carroll and Frederick until 6:45. And we're likely seeing at least penny-sized to pea-sized hail out of the storm system as it continues to race off to the north and east. So a little bit more scrubby here on radar, and we're not seeing that well-defined notching feature just around the New Market area, but still picking it up here, at least on velocity, where we're getting those brighter shades of red and green coming together here right over New Market and out through McKeag. So if you're up towards Woodville, once again, or even back up towards the Westminster area, you may not be here in the polygon. You may not be in the polygon, but right along 70 and going up Maryland 75 here, we do have the tornado warning until 6:45, and this is going to knock on the door of Westminster. And even in Westminster itself, you're underneath a severe thunderstorm warning. That will carry you through 6:45, but it also has a possible tornado text on it. So that simply means the possibility is still there for a tornado to develop with the tornado warning south of the city, south of McDaniel College right now. So if you're along 70 or coming up Maryland 75 up towards Ijamsville, even over towards New Market, and then pushing back towards Woodville and around Lignor Winery, over towards Red Shed Brewing Company, just basically west of Mount Area, we're looking at those strong gusty winds here represented in the brighter shades of green and some of that rotation that is aloft at the higher levels. So going back into the radar view, it's not just this storm that we're worried about. We actually have more storms coming up out of the Leesburg area. These have severe thunderstorm warnings on them. We'll have to watch out in northern portions of Montgomery County as you get back into portions of Howard County, and then even eventually up here towards Westminster, Taneytown. Westminster and Taneytown, you're not in the tornado warning. It's right on your doorstep. It's back up towards Middleburg along 140, but still, I want you to get in that safe space with all of the walls around you. Because we do have the tornado warning out there until 6:45. So all of the walls around you, away from the windows. These storms do have a history of putting down some strong gusty winds, upwards of 60 miles per hour, along with some pea to penny-sized hail at times. But tornado warning once again for portions of Frederick as well as Carroll County. That will continue until about 6:45 this evening. Once again, if you're along I-70 out towards New Market, up along Maryland 75, we'll come in a little tighter here for you on the radar. And you'll be able to see Once again, New Market up towards McKeag, back out through the Walkersville area, coming back across Maryland 26, over towards Woodville, up through Dennings, into portions of western Carroll County around the New Windsor area, and coming out of Westminster itself. I want you to look out for this. You can see a little bit of that tightening once again, kind of scrubby here just south of New London along 75 coming out of New Market. We'll go back into the velocity. And you see there's a little bit of tightening here. More of a broad level rotation is what we're seeing from Mount Pleasant over towards New Market right now, back up towards the Lignor area and even over towards Oldfield. And you can see that broad wind field basically from Woodsboro now down towards New Market. And that's where we're seeing some gusty winds at this time. Give you a better view. Besides the tornado warning, we do have a tornado watch until 3 a.m. for all of the Baltimore Metro back into western portions of Maryland. The Eastern Shore is not included in this, but everybody else underneath a tornado watch until 3 a.m. That means conditions are favorable for tornadic development to occur in that yellow zone. And in the red zone right now, we do have that tornado warning in place until about 3 a.m. for portions of Carroll and Frederick County. Looking at the latest on the Weather Service chat, not seeing too much in the way of any more information regarding the tornado warning that's out across portions of Frederick County. It's over towards the Lignor and Bartonsville area. We'll go back into the radar in motion. And it's been a very slow day here with the storms back towards the west across portions of Carroll and Frederick County, slowly drifting towards the Baltimore area. We're likely to deal with these through about 8, 9 o'clock tonight. Then we'll get a break, and then the main show will come in once we get past about midnight through 3 a.m. So zooming back in just east of Frederick now, right around New Market, just north of New Market, looks to be the worst of the weather around McKeag, and just west of Woodville. Woodville, hopefully you're in that safe space. We want all of the walls around you. Up towards Engler's Mill, out through Franklinville, along 175, looking at this storm up towards the Johnsville area and eventually on the doorstep there in Westminster. So a little tighter view for you here. We'll check the velocities once again, still pretty broad in nature around Lignor over towards Mount Pleasant, out through New Market, getting up towards the New Windsor area and out through Johnsville. This brighter green that you're seeing on the board, those are gusty winds that are being translated down to the surface, upwards of 50 to 60 miles per hour. So if we're not seeing a tornado, we're likely seeing at least a little bit of wind damage here. If you're right around Red Shed Brewing Company out through Lignor along 75 coming out of New Market and Mount Airy, it's right there, that bright spot that you see where it's meeting up a little bit with the reds and the grays. That's our couplet that's showing up there on the radar. For the most part, it's relatively broad in nature, and that's what the radar is picking up on, and that's why the tornado warning has been issued. So back to radar view. We'll put a track on this. We'll come out of New Market, and we'll give you a timeline, what the storms are doing. They're moving off to the north and east once again at 45 miles per hour. That will put us in the doorstep there of Westminster about 7 o'clock tonight. Bailey's Mill at 6:58, New Windsor at 6:56, and Engler's Mill at 6:53 p.m. We'll go back over towards the regular view of the radar, and you can see once again that tornado warning until 6:45. We're still not seeing any new information regarding the tornado warning on the extension or not. So still in Frederick and Carroll counties, that will go until 6:45 p.m. And it looks like, as of now on the Weather Service chat, that tornado warning has been canceled. Severe thunderstorm warning still continuing across portions of Carroll County. That will go until the top of the hour. But even with the tornado warning canceled, we want you to stay weather aware out there and be wary, because any of these storms could put down tornadoes or even gusty winds this evening. For now, though, we'll turn it back over to the newscast in just a minute. Actually, we'll take a break first, and then we'll send you back into the newscast coming up.